10K pay increase to drive 1 hour to work every day? Current job 72K. 5 days a week. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. no lunch included unless I want to lose an hour for lunch. I drive a Honda Civic, so it's a fuel-efficient car. 20-30 minutes drive one way depending on time. New job 82K. 5 days a week. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. lunch included, so I still get my 8-hour. 1 hour 30 minutes one way. No WFH at either job. Gas here comes out to 2.503 per gallon. 10K but an extra 1.52 hours a day in a car? Not a chance. You didn't mention benefits, assuming they are basically the same. This is a quick no for me from a simple math approach. This would be a non-starter for me unless the $10,000 raise job had a much more immediate and clear career growth track and salary increase. You're adding about 250 hours a year to your employment time for the commute, so if you pay yourself minimum wage, that's around $4,000 of your $10,000 raise that's taken up by your drive. When you factor in gas and car use, I'd say it's negligible increase at very best. But the loss of time isn't worth it at all. So unless you have a clear path to salary increases and career growth, I'd say no way. As someone who has to drive 2-3 hours for work, I would gladly take a 10K cut in order to work locally. Most don't realize how absolutely exhausting and even dangerous to make that long of a commute daily. No. Save yourself the headache time. I did an hour to work and 2 hours home in traffic for 3 years, and I'd sell my soul to never do it again. Financially speaking, it is probably break even or even a downgrade. You are looking at probably at least 1 hour extra in the car each day. That's more gas and wear and tear that could easily add up to $10,000. Plus the non-financial piece of having at least 1 hour less per day to yourself and spent commuting. You will get sick of that long commute real fast. Would be a no from me. I'd reluctantly go up to an hour, but only if it was on a train or a very reliable bus line so that I could sleep, read, etc. My current commute is a 12-minute walk, so my standards are maybe high tears of joy. That is an extra 10 hours of unpaid labor plus the car costs. I wouldn't take it for anything under a $30,000 a year increase. Then I would consider it. Hell no. Like no way ever would I spend 3 a day commuting. If you have 20-30 minutes now, that's a distance you can experiment with. Maybe try cycling or whatever. An hour more sounds excruciating. You should value your time more than that. If I were you, I would stay with the 72K. Driving an hour every day will cause more wear and tear on your car, and the cost of maintaining and repairing is not worth it. Don't forget the gas too if it was hybrid. I'd at least consider it. I have a friend who drives to work 1 hour away and back every day. And from my understanding, it's not worth it to him. I would say $10,000 is not at all compelling in this case. All else being equal, federal taxes take $3,000 off. Added fuel costs another $2,000. Additional wear on your vehicle, let's say that's $500. So let's say you actually get to take home $4,500 of the $10,000 raise. That's an extra $375 a month for spending on average 55 more hours in a car every month. I'd rather have the 55 hours to do what I want. That's not even considering the fact that you will need to get up earlier and probably get less sleep with the new job. Not worth it emo. That's almost 11 extra days in the car per year. Think about the longer term impacts on your physical and mental health. Let's say it's an extra 40 each way, that's 1 hour 20 per day for 5 days a week. That's 346 extra hours per year. Currently 72K 2080 hours 40 by 52 34.61 per hour. New job 82K 2080, 346 extra hours 33.80 per hour. It's a pay cut if you calculate pay from when you leave to when you get home. Not even considering higher gas costs and more wear and tear on your vehicle. Which do you care about more, time or money? Answer is no. If you do the math, it's 34-hour now vs 28-hour including travel time. For 10K more, def not worth it. I just did the reverse of what you're curious about. Was at 85K driving an hour 20 every day and took a 12K pay cut to drive 15 minutes. Both 5 days in office. I'm 24 now and honestly I feel like I have much more time to do things I actually want to do versus worrying about driving and traffic, let alone cost of gas and wear tear depreciation on vehicle. My cutoff is 1 hour one way. Anything more than that, it would need to be a substantial pay increase, which in my field doesn't pay that. I could actually afford to lose 20K a year. Work 5 minutes from home and take home the same pay, but I would lose a big benefit, so I stay for now. I drive 70 minutes each way on a good traffic day. However, I can now work from home 3 days a week. I would recommend against it, especially if you live in a snowy climate. Unless you think this will assist with increasing your career trajectory, I say pass. That is not the move and not enough pay for that commute difference. You are basically adding about 2 hours per day, that's 10 hours per week. 520 hours per year to your day. $10,000 divided by 520 is $19 per hour. Is your time worth more than $19 per hour? That's not even counting increase in gas and wear and tear on the car? That's about $15 per hour less than what you make now. I had an opportunity for much more than that and I turned it down. I knew being on the road that much would get to me at some point. Not a chance in the world. The additional gas and maintenance alone on your car will burn 25-30 of that. Having done plenty of hour commutes, the raw exhaustion and time wasted in a day to drive is definitely not worth it. If the benefits are significantly better or you don't think you'll be there long, it might be okay. Based off your description above, I'd definitely say no. Nope, need a lot more money to even consider that change plus hybrid, so it at least evens out. Only if it will fast track you to a higher paying job. Some roles are worth taking if it will lead to a long-term benefit. If it's lateral, keep searching. I used to commute 2 hours making way less than any comparable job local. I did it because I knew the name and role would get me to the next job. It eventually did, and my commute is now 5 minutes and I make 2x more all in. You will waste whole day of work on driving and will be much more tired every day. There is not a job in the world I would commute more than an hour for. None. No amount of money or benefits. Read an article the other day about how a daily 1-hour commute costs you about $10K. Probably a wash financially, but a hit to your call. $10K bump in salary is not a big difference at all. Don't think it's worth it. I made a similar move, but I went from 68K to I took it. I would not have moved for 10K. I wouldn't take 100K pay raise for that commute. So you're driving an extra 5 hours per week. That's an extra 250 hours a year, assuming you take 2 weeks off. $10,000, 250 hours, $40 hours. Do you want $40 extra per workday in exchange for giving up an hour of your time? That's the question you need to ask yourself.